it won't get out of my head. It's the most catchy piece of music in existence, and it needs to be heard by more people. So I really want to be a billionaire, and I saw that Chloe Longname on Instagram and TikTok had asked specifically any producers who want to be millionaires or billionaires to listen to her song, Snake People.
If there's any music producers out there that want to make millions and billions of dollars, then you might want to perk those ears up. Snake people eating steaks at the steeple. Yeah, their bellies get big, but their bodies stay thin.
Beautifully sung a cappella on Instagram, beautifully written song, amazing lyrics with so much depth, telling a really powerful story. And yeah, we want to make a lot of money. So I thought I'd show you how I made the track, which I'm sure you've heard by now. I'm going to start with a quick blast from the chorus.
Down, and the snakes come out, start breeding with the women, breeding with the women.
It's actually the verse. This is the chorus.
Snake people eating snakes at the steeple. Their bellies get big, but their bodies stay thin. Snake people take a peek through the peephole. They're looking around and they're looking in the sun.
Don't worry about that little bit of vocal that's missing. It's all part of the fun. So I wanted obviously to be like a big fat electro clash, very simple, no frills kind of track. Just a big beat and a catchy chorus. First off, the drums. Kick drum number 1. Just a real kind of like punchy kick number 2. That's actually a sample of a real kick drum from Victor Indrizzo, his sample pack. So those two kicks together got a little bit of a phase relationship, which just kind of makes it a bit more powerful. Snare number 1. This is not a Victor Indrizzo snare. So I like his drum sounds. They're really good. Looks like I've kept the pitch, a bit of EQ on it. Cool, simple. And then I've got this Jack Antonoff sample pack, which loads of mad sounds that he gave away. And my hi-hat is actually from that. It's a blown tape. And then I've layered in this additional sound. It's just kind of a weird phasey, blown out, other kind of tapey sound, which I like how it layers on with the snare. So we put that together with the snare. Just the regular snare on its own. And now this sound. It's now got this weird kind of futuristic, spacey kind of thing. And then that's the third kick. I forgot there's 3 kick drums. This is like another, this is from Contact. Just a really flappy, kind of crappy kick drum sound. But that's giving the kick drum a little bit more of that high end cut through.
Down, and the snakes come out.
Vocals, I took the audio from the video clip and I put it into a simpler in Ableton Live, and I just took a MIDI note for each phrase. So just dragged it in there where it went to one line. I would then chop that, and that would be one MIDI key. And so as the track played, I could trigger each line of the song. I just sampled each line individually and then played it in. And then after I played it in, I've then done some warping a little bit to make it fit the groove a bit better. So from the top.
Snake people eating steaks at the steeple. Their bellies get big, but their bodies stay thin.
There's loads of background noise in this video from the street, but there's also a super noisy video clip.
Bellies get big, but their bodies stay thin.
Saturation, I'm using Cymatics Diablo to add some punch and a bit of clipping. EQ, controlling some of the crazy frequencies, a bit more EQ. And then what am I doing here? I've got one layer. Oh, originally I had other layers actually. I think maybe I've muted them for some reason. They're meant to be there. Shit. Anyway, I'm doing a bit of a remaster of this, so I'm going to be putting it out again anyway. But I think I forgot to have these on.
Snake people eating snakes out of people.
That's a layer below with the little altar boy doing an octave down, bit of a performance shift on it as well.
Snake people eating snakes out of steeple. Their bellies get big, but their bodies stay thin. Snake people take a peek through the peephole.
Anyway, so when I put out the next version, it will have that layer in it. Now, bass. This is all using free plugins from Full Bucket Music. First off, a monopoly emulation. So this is actually two sounds. The first sound and the second sound. So one's a bit more like got a wider pulse width and it's a bit more kind of high and dirty and textured, and the other one's a bit more solid bass. They've got interesting how they kind of make this weird phasey sound together, which I like. So the bass line itself just has that bit of an offbeat groove with the drums. So it feels like it's pumping, like side chaining, but there just isn't a bass note on the first beat of each bar. Like it's all on the offbeats. Sorry. So yeah, you got the offbeat hi-hat, the offbeat bass synth, just giving it this big like head nodding kind of thing. Like yeah, bass is pretty simple. The bass line itself just came up with on the. Inspired by that kind of early 2000s electro clash sound. Next up, the synths are also from Free Synths by Full Bucket Music. This is a Pro 1, I believe, or a 6-track. Going through a chorus. That's the TAL chorus, which is like a Juno type chorus. And then to get this sound to be like a pumping sidechain thing, I used the tremolo effect built into Ableton and I adjusted the timing so the volume goes up and down. So if I turn that off, it's just straight chords. But that gives it that chopping effect, that sort of ducking effect. And then I put it room reverb on the sound. Just a little bit more space, and then it's being sent to a reverb. This is, yep, another instance of this synthesizer, different patch. This time I put the Wolf compressor on by Goodhertz, and that's got a slight wow wobbly lo-fi thing, which is nice. Creates a little bit of movement. Again, the chopper thing for the ducking, and then the room reverb. I was experimenting with this sound as well. And so right now it's muted because I haven't figured out exactly where it's going to go, but I feel like that's going to be in there. It's just this really cacophonous like. And that's a Analog Dreams preset. Dial it down a bit and then fade. Yeah, it's just that it's got that the center of the stereo field, a bit more power. So yeah, that'll probably be in there. And then the final synth sound, which is just this like long note hovering over the chorus, which is this. There you go. This synth again, the 6-track. Just holding a note. That's the sound without the chorus. Sounds like an error. Something's broken, and then you put the chorus on, and it's just it feels musical now. There's nothing else in the track. It's literally that. And I wanted this to sound dirty, overblown, saturated. A bit naughty. The master bus got glue compressor doing its sort of SSL thing, just not really doing a lot of compression, but just sort of the glue. Then we got some saturation from the black box without it. With it, it comes alive, banging. And then I've got the Lindale plugin. This is like a Neve channel strip, pushing a bit of 7,200, which is where there's like snare drum brightness, and I'm rolling off the super low end a little bit on this. It's got a lovely rolling off the low end curve, this plugin, so it doesn't take away all the low end, it just controls it a bit. Got this mastering EQ pushing 100 Hertz subtly, and then pushing actually 350, which I don't normally do, but it was giving it a bit more body. And then we're going into the Pro L2 limiter a little bit. That's really only limiting from the kick with quite a fast attack, and then the other limiter I've got, which is the Faraday limiter, it's behaving differently. It's got slower attack, so those two limiters together is pushing things to maximum loudness, you know, sort of mastering it in the mixing process really. And that's it. It won't get out of my head. It's the most catchy piece of music in existence, and it needs to be heard by more people, so this is part of that. Come on, I want millions of billions. Billions of millions. No, millions of billions. I definitely want millions of billions. If you ever see this Chloe Longname, I think you're great. I think we're going to be rich beyond our wildest dreams. And yeah, bye.